The Seattle Seahawks are Super Bowl champions after a dominant victory over the New England Patriots in all phases. And as I take the handoff from SVP and SportsCenter, I'm thrilled to welcome you to Super Bowl Live, the premiere of this show, where our award-winning NFL Live crew talks all Super Bowl all the time. And we are at the site of Super Bowl 61, SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. We're beginning this countdown to ESPN's first ever Super Bowl, February 14th, 2027. And as we turn our attention to that, we see where this journey began earlier today in Levi Stadium.
Montana is back to throw. He looks and throws it. Touchdown!
He takes it, facing pressure. He's in trouble. Inside the 30. All the way for a touchdown. Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Number one has the confetti card. He's going to go. Touchdown, Seattle. And he's anchored on first down. Goes long. Touchdown. Unbelievable.
Roger back to throw. Have the man open in the end zone.
That ball down. Kick up. Kick is on the way. And it is good. It's good. It's good.
Welcome to Super Bowl Live, presented by Intuit TurboTax. So glad to be with you guys, debuting an all-new show. Marcus Spears, Mina Kimes, Ryan Clark. Super Bowl Live is going to air throughout this Super Bowl year, 2027, February 14th. That's what we're looking forward to. But there's a lot to get to, y'all, from what happened tonight.
Yes.
Congrats, Mina. The Seahawks are Super Bowl champs. We'll get a lot of reaction to that. But first, let's remind you how we got to this point. What a day it's been. As we go back to the Seahawks facing the Patriots in Super Bowl 60. Seahawks seeking their second Super Bowl. The Patriots seeking their seventh. Okay, Hall of Fame wide receiver Steve Largent raising the 12th man flag for Seattle. Super Bowl 49 hero Malcolm Butler ringing the bell for New England. And we're going to go to the first quarter. Patriots down 3-0. First and 10 at the Seattle 45. Drake May dropping back, and he's sacked by Derek Hall. Marcus, this happened throughout the game.
Oh, it started early. The left side of this offensive line we've talked about with the Patriots, it showed up tonight. They struggled.
Hey, RC talked about that pressure all week long, and it was real.
Listen, Devin Witherspoon was an absolute beast,
Menace.
getting in the backfield play after play. They didn't have to send him a ton, but when they did, he made them pay.
Send them.
Patriots trailing 3-0 after the first. Seahawks 8-0 this season when allowing 0 points in the first quarter. Early second, still 3-0 Seahawks. Kenneth Walker, Mina, he was on fire.
He was excellent this game, as he has been for weeks now. Vision, patience, burst, it was all on display.
Gain of 30, Seahawks first down. A few plays later, second and 10 at the Patriots 46, and Walker getting open space, bursting through deep into Patriots territory, 29 yards, and another first down. He was running at will. Seahawks later kicking a field goal. That was a theme, leading 6-0. Ensuing Patriots drive, second and 10 from their own 38, and May under duress, taken down by Riley Mills.
Riley Mills,
Hey, you got so
fighting Irish. Riley Mills with a big play as a rookie, gets into the backfield, pressure right into the face of Drake May.
You saw Morgan Moses trying to talk to the team, trying to rally them. Early third quarter, Seahawks first and 10 at their own 27. Darnold locates Jackson Smith and Jigba over the middle, open space, gain of 16 yards and a first down. The next play, first and 10 at their own 43. Darnold getting away from some pressure here, Mina, makes something happen.
Yeah, Sam Darnold didn't have a gaudy stat line, but his ability to avoid sacks in this game was huge, especially compared to Drake May.
A few plays later, second and 10 from the Pats 43, and Darnold, the screen to Walker. He takes off for a gain of 20 yards.
Listen, when you look at Kenneth Walker III, he's been the catalyst of this offense since about week 16. He catches that ball on his shoestring, immediate explosion, getting up.
Credit to the Patriots defense, because they were limiting them to field goals, but that was huge. Byron Murphy recovering for Seattle. Mike McDonald loves it.
Mike.
Okay,
Marcus
Patriots.
called this one, by the way.
Yeah.
Seconds before, he was like, strip sack.
I heard that down the hall. Patriots down 12-0 after 3. They're still within striking distance, right? They could get anything going, although it never really felt like that in this game. Darnold right here in the fourth quarter, floating one to A.J. Barner for the touchdown.
This was Clint Kubiak's parting gift to the Seattle Seahawks fan. This is a great call. He releases through the C-gap, gets it to the end zone, a la Sean McVay, and the way he's utilized Puka Nacua. Sam Darnold with the hand raised. He knows that's a enough points.
That was the game's first touchdown. Seahawks go up 19-0. Next Pats drive. May connects with Mac Hollins for a gain of 24. Patriots driving. You're thinking maybe they're cooking something up, right? Next play, 1st and 10 on the Seattle 35, and May goes back to Hollins again for the touchdown.
I feel like they should have done this more.
Yeah.
Finally got a one-on-one. Reek Woolen was running from the other side of the field. Mac Hollins with a little hesitation. A great ball by Drake May and a huge combat catch for Mac Hollins.
Okay, so Patriots fans are like, maybe New England's down 19-7 after Seattle punt. Another chance. May dropping back, pivot, running up the middle with some open space there.
Another thing I thought we would see more, Drake May scrambling. Took a while to get going, and then as you see here, he's pressing, and a crucial mistake.
Oh no, Julian Love, huge interception. The Seahawks take over. This was a bit of a nail in the coffin for the Pats, but you're still saying, all right, let's see what they could potentially do. Look at Julian Love admiring the pick. Next Seahawks possession, 1st and 10 on the Pats 38. Walker running outside for the gain of 14. He just had his way with this defense.
I thought these edges would be available all night long, and it needed to be, and it was for Kenneth Walker.
Jason Myers' kick is good. Super Bowl record, 5th made field goal. I know. He's like, man, kickers need some MVP awards.
They need some love, too.
Seahawks go up 22-7. Under 5 left to go. Patriots 1st and 10 on the Seattle 44. May hit by Witherspoon. He throws it right to Uchenna Nwosu. He takes it all the way for the touchdown.
Listen, Devin Witherspoon again, he gets it to the backfield. He plays the arm of Drake May, perfectly mirroring it with his left hand. Nwosu with an athletic play, and big men are balling in the
You know why it's athletic. You know
Because
why.
y'all are the best athletes on the field, right?
Yes.
How about McDonald getting the Gatorade bat? The Seahawks win Super Bowl 60, 29-13. Let's hear from their head coach after the game.
The way our team just decide, like when they set their mind to something and then they stick together and make it come to life, it's just unbelievable, you know. I'm not surprised. It's just who they are, but it's a special group, and man, I'm happy for them. They get to live as champions the rest of their life. Pretty cool.
So after getting drafted 3rd overall in 2018, look at Sam Darnold and his journey. He lasted 3 seasons with the Jets, going 13-25 as a starter before getting traded to the Panthers. Spent 2 seasons in Carolina, going 8-9 as a starter. He made 1-year stops with the Vikings and the 49ers. Both teams opted to let him go as a free agent despite making the Pro Bowl in Minnesota. But in his first season with Seattle, Darnold wins a Lombardi trophy for his 5th team. Here's an emotional Sam after the win.
Some people called me crazy throughout my career for believing in myself so much and having so much confidence, but it was because of my parents, because of the way that they believed in me throughout my entire career, and it allowed me to go out there and play free and have a ton of confidence.
How's that feel?
It feels amazing. They tried to tear my boy down, but you can't stop what God got for.
What do you think of what Darnold did this postseason? All season, really?
He did everything you wanted him to do. Came in, he led our team. He got a hard position he played, but you talking about who keep battling, don't let anything sidetrack him. That's Sammy D for you. And now my dog is Super Bowl winner. I'll see you, Sammy.
Oh, you just love it. And truly, I mean, that is how this entire team, man-to-man, feels about Sam Darnold, and they should, with what he's been able to do. Mina, how did your Seahawks get this done?
Defense. I mean, we're going to talk about Sam a lot tomorrow, and I thought he played well, but this game was about the defense. This team was about the defense. This season was about the defense, and I thought it was appropriate that they won the Super Bowl because of the defense. This is the best defense in the NFL. They finished the season that way. 2 things, pass rush, tackling. Basic fundamentals of football. But there's nothing basic about the way they got to the quarterback, even though they didn't blitz very often. Mike McDonald was a mad scientist, as he has been since he has arrived in Seattle. And we're going to look at some of them later. You saw many of the things we saw all season long, last 2 years. Stimulated pressures, overloads, ways of getting guys one-on-one. And there's Devin Witherspoon. So you're seeing Devin Witherspoon, you're thinking, Devin Witherspoon, the blitzer. He actually had not blitzed that much this season and blitzed more in this game than he did all year long. So when he comes running through the B gap, the Patriots were taken by surprise.
Yep.
And again, that is a testament to him, but also to Mike McDonald, game planning and breaking some tendencies.
And I also think when you look at this week, we had to question if Nick Eamon-Wari wasn't his normal self, if he wasn't at 100%, how will they utilize other players? And we knew that Devin Witherspoon would be big moving into the middle of the field. And it wasn't that he was sent 4 or 5 times. It was that it was the perfect call, the perfect design, the perfect disguise, and then execution. And also on the back end, having the ability to be in 2 high safeties and stop the run on early downs. At the start of the game, you can see the New England Patriots thought to themselves, if we can run the ball early, if we can stay ahead of the sticks, if we can play field position, we can win. But we watched Ernest Jones time and time again get into the backfield. Drake Thomas make plays. The edges were set by the defense, and that's when you saw them begin to overwhelm the New England Patriots.
Responsibility. That's all I thought about this game watching Seattle. Everybody was where they were supposed to be majority of the time. Even on the touchdown to Matt Collins, Tariq Woolen was in great phase, a hand in the pocket, just a great play by him. You think about some of the throws that Drake had to make, the deep dig that he completed. It's 4 Seattle Seahawks around the football. I thought this team was very disciplined. And as much as we talk about the physicality and how fast they are and what they do as a pass rush unit, they are also tied together as well as anybody else. And you saw sometimes coverage created sacks, and then sometimes rush created bad throws and forced Drake into some bad situations. That is the staple of a great defense, is units looking out for each other.
And everyone. We're talking about some of the stars, but a play that comes to mind, they get pressure, ball comes out quick. Josh Jobe is in position to make who was excellent in this game, make a phenomenal tackle. Who was talking about Josh Jobe, right? But to a man, the Seahawks defense, everybody played together and played well.
Well, I think the one thing about masterful defensive coordinators is that they make young quarterbacks seem young. They make young quarterbacks figure out things on the run after the snap. And as good as Drake May is, he's still only in his second year. And today, the inexperience showed up because of what Mike McDonald can do on the defensive side of the ball.
Plenty more conversation around the Patriots, and credit to them for making it as far as they did this year. We'll talk about that, plus what we think about Drake May, and so much more coming your way on Super Bowl Live. So stay with us here as we carry on from SoFi. The Patriots offense couldn't get going against that dominant Seahawks D, as we're talking about. You will hear from Drake May and company on the other side why his shoulder injury might have been more of an issue than we knew. Super Bowl Live presented by Intuit TurboTax. We'll be right back from SoFi Stadium, starting our handoff, the official beginning of our Super Bowl year. The first Super Bowl on ESPN comes your way in 2027. We'll be right back. Super Bowl Live is presented by Intuit TurboTax. Now this is taxes. The Seattle Seahawks are Super Bowl champs. The confetti falling there in Santa Clara, a dominant victory. And they'll continue to celebrate. So much to be excited about, so much to smile about. Smiling so big, confetti might get stuck to his teeth. All right, from the winners to the team that fell short on the other side. This one all but sealed it tonight, right? The fourth quarter, less than 5 minutes to play. Drake May sacked by Devin Witherspoon. Ball pops in the air, intercepted by Uchenna Nwosu, who takes it 45 yards for the touchdown. The Seahawks went up 29-7. They never looked back. And Drake May was pressured on more than a third of his dropbacks in the Super Bowl and struggled when he faced pressure. He had as many turnovers, 3, as completions when pressured, and he was sacked 6 times, 1 shy of the Super Bowl record. Here's May and Mike Vrabel after falling short.
Yeah, you're at the highest stage, the highest level, so it's hard to kind of, put that in comparison to others. I think it's a business at this level, but it's more than that. It's more than that. In a game like this, and I think that's about it. It's more than a business. There's people in there that are doing it, not for the money or the fame, and that's what's cool about this team.
I'm proud of everything that they did. I'm disappointed, just like they are. I reminded them that we're 307 days into what hopefully is a long, successful relationship and program, and that it's okay to be disappointed. We have to be disappointed and upset together. And, like I always do, I tell them I'm appreciative of him. I'm thankful. I'm grateful that I get to coach him.
There's no doubt that it was a remarkable year for this team, and we're going to wait and see what further information comes out about Drake May's throwing shoulder, maybe a little bit more injured than we really realized. He was tough either way, gutted it out. I mean, geez, both quarterbacks were playing with injuries, but Marcus May looked tentative out there, right? Was that just inexperience, or was it something that the Seahawks did to take him out of his game?
How much film you think he watched on the Seahawks defense? Listen, the reality is, the Seattle Seahawks exploited the problems that we saw from New England throughout the whole playoff run. The left side of their offensive line, and they also made concerted efforts to make sure Drake didn't escape up the middle of the line of scrimmage too much in this game. This was a perfect rush as a response to him using his legs to get out. You look at the two interior D tackles. This is what you call sitting and sifting, making sure that you make the ball come out of his hand as opposed to him extending plays. And those little things throughout the course of a game, to me, rushed Drake May at times. And people say, well, that's not that much. It's a lot when you have a quarterback that's used to scrambling through the center of the pocket to avoid trouble. And Seattle understood that a lot in their pass rush tonight. And if you think about Drake May, and people say, well, he should have used his legs more. Brother, it wasn't a lot of lanes available.
Yeah.
It was a few times where Seattle got off kilter and gave some lanes, but for the majority of the night, this defensive line played as one.
What I love to see defensive coordinators do is say, we have an advantage. You obviously understood you had an advantage to the left side of the offensive line. You knew you had better players defensively, but let's not rest in that. Let's not give them easy looks. Let's not give this young quarterback an outlet to know exactly where to go with the football. And Mike McDonald using the pressure of Devin Witherspoon, showing some disguise, also moving or starting in one alignment and then getting to another after the snap. They continuously kept Drake May guessing. And their ability early on in the game, I think it was Julian Love, missed the tackle in the flat. And we were all like, ooh, right?
Yeah, right.
And then a series later, Nick Eamon-Wari makes an open field tackle on a Drake May rush that I think is one of the biggest plays early on in the game. And that's when we saw this thing start to avalanche. I love the fact they came into this game with a plan and they never got off kilter.
Yeah, look, obviously May didn't have a great game. The offensive line, the left side, Will Campbell struggled a lot. But I will say, I didn't feel like Josh McDaniels did him any favors. I mean, again, he was also up against it from a talent discrepancy. And I think this is something probably that was covered up a little bit during the regular season. Campbell himself, if you're giving up the most pressures of any, tackle in a playoff game in years, that's going to be hard for an offensive coordinator. But I did feel at times, particularly early on, he was in an island too much. It was a lot of Drake May in the gun, spreading things out, asking him to be a distributor. I thought all week long I talked about, they're going to come out with 6 offensive linemen. They did once, and they hit a 21-yard shot off of it to Kayshon Boutte, and then they never went back to it. There were very few plays with 2 running backs in the backfield. So to me, obviously the inability to run was part of this as well, but it was a little bit too much on the shoulders of May. And then given what we saw, that was not helpful.
You also have to think for this offense in the last 3 games, they haven't had to do much.
Yeah.
You were playing against the Chargers, who had a debilitated offensive line. C.J. Stroud had one of the worst days in the history of playoff quarterbacking. No Dalton Schultz, no Nico Collins, and you played Jarrett Stidham. You were playing an offense with Kenneth Walker and with Sam Darnold that could score points or at least move the football. You had to go out and do something, and Josh McDaniels, you're correct, didn't seem prepared to help this team.
You guys, 40% of the Patriots' plays went for negative yards or no gain. 40%. I mean, that's a massive amount. There's a lot of different ways you can look at this from the negative side, but either way, the Patriots have a lot to be proud of this year. We've got more coming your way here from LA as we continue on outside of SoFi Stadium. And still ahead, you don't want to miss how this play put the Seahawks' Uchenna Nwosu on a legendary list of Super Bowl performances. We're diving into some of the history here as we return. Congratulations to the Super Bowl champs, the Seattle Seahawks. You're watching Super Bowl Live, presented by Intuit TurboTax. We'll be right back.
You just won the Super Bowl. What are you doing next? I'm going to go to Disney World.
Boy, I'd love to go to the Super Bowl one day. Maybe we can.
officially going to the Super Bowl, and ESPN heading to Disneyland tomorrow. We are back with Super Bowl Live starting at 3 p.m. Eastern from Main Street, USA. And then the Super Bowl MVP stopping by NFL Live in the 4 p.m. hour. You'll hear from Kenneth Walker, Sam Darnold hopefully as well. SportsCenter closing things out at 5 Eastern. It's going to be a whole lot of fun and a well-deserved celebration for the Seattle Seahawks. What a season, what a performance, what a coaching job across the board. Mike McDonald deserving so much credit and redemption for a quarterback in Sam Darnold that so many criticized. That hug means so much. You can't even imagine some of the emotions that they're dealing with. But let's turn our attention to a handoff, okay? At its core, it's one of the most important things that can happen in the game of football. It's trusting someone else with the thing that matters most to you. And as ESPN takes on the responsibility of the Super Bowl, we decided to consult with two NFL legends that have a ton of experience with successful handoffs. In fact, 4,000 of them. Here's Wright Thompson.
It seems so simple, so routine. But highly paid professionals make a hash of it all the time. When it goes right, no one notices. But when it goes wrong, oh boy.
The ball just fell out of his hand.
I'm talking, of course, about the handoff. ESPN is taking the ball from our friends with the Peacock, and to make sure we didn't make a hash of it, we brought in the experts.
Bateman, handoff Smith. Holy cow, what a great play. Touchdown, Emmitt Smith.
No duo in NFL history has more successful handoffs than Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith.
It really is up to the quarterback to place the ball properly. Emmitt would refer to that as the bread basket.
He meets me at the mesh point, the pocket is clean, it's in the bread basket.
For the play to work, there's certain essentials.
Trust. It all begins with trust.
Preparation.
Timing. Patience. Precision.
Confidence, competitiveness.
Vision.
Feel.
Consistency.
Putting in the work.
Practice, practice, practice. We make it look easy.
The handoff is simple until it's not. It's one of those things that's taken for granted until the ball's on the ground.
And it's the first fumble that Emmitt Smith has lost all year.
Much like I did so many times handing the ball off to Emmitt, the analogy is very appropriate for what we're embarking upon at ESPN.
Super Bowl Sunday. And this is it, the biggest game in sports.
A handoff signals the start of something new, a beginning, with an endless horizon.
That's incredible. What a comeback.
It's transferred to us to carry that responsibility forward and continue with the legacy and the history of this great game and this great event.
Oh my God, kickoff at the goal line. This is your Super Bowl dagger. With the most improbable win in recent memory. What a finish to an unbelievable Super Bowl.
It's in the bread basket, and it's sitting in a safe spot. All bets are off.
It's our ball now. See you at SoFi.
And we're already at SoFi. Coming up, the Legion of Boom did it. Now the dark side proves that defense does win championships. Our crew headed to the touchscreen to show us how it all went down. You don't want to miss this. You're watching Super Bowl Live, presented by Intuit TurboTax. We return from outside SoFi Stadium. More talk about Super Bowl 60. The Seattle Seahawks are the champs. We'll be right back on ESPN. We're back back on Super Bowl Live. Mina, these are your people. Look at them celebrating.
It's
Seahawks fans. Look at that.
We don't get too rowdy in Seattle, though. This is about as hard as they go. Well, okay, never mind. Never mind.
Yeah.
Stand corrected.
Let's keep these shots going. Let's see what else we get. Actually, I don't know. All right, they said we couldn't keep going because whatever we're going to see next is not good. Let's go to Super Bowl 60. The Patriots take it on the Seahawks at Levi's Stadium, and we're going to pick it up just over 13 and a half minutes to play in the second quarter. The Seahawks up 3-0, 2nd and 10 from the Patriots 46. They're still running out, but I'm telling you, here comes the play. Kenneth Walker gets it in the backfield. Mina, he breaks free for a 29-yard run.
Yeah, great blocking there, running between the tackles. A lot of his big runs came on stretch plays. He was phenomenal tonight.
Seahawks are going to kick a field goal, lead 6-0. Next Patriots drive, under 11 minutes to play. The pocket collapses on Drake May, RC.
Rookie Riley Mills hasn't played a ton this year. We knew pressure up the middle of the field would be important. Sack on Drake May. Morgan Moses trying to get his team motivated.
Pats were only down 9-0 at halftime. To the final minute of the third, Patriots down 12-0. May Spears, he punches the ball out. Byron Murphy recovers.
Yeah, it's a game on that side. Leonard Williams shoots the gap. Murphy underneath. Drake May, sack, fumble. We saw this time and time again throughout this playoff.
That Seahawks defense suffocating. 13 and a half minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Ensuing Seahawks possession. Sam Darnold looking to the end zone. Hits A.J. Barner for the TD.
A.J. Barner wide open all year. That's a great play designed by Clint Kubiak. Sends him through the C gap. Excellent concept. Excellent touchdown.
Seattle up 19-0. 12 and a half to play. May throwing deep. Make something happen here to Mac Hollins.
We were waiting on the shot plays. We knew this was a big part of this offense throughout this run in the playoffs. Mac Hollins with a good combat catch. Now they feel like they're in the game.
Yeah, can they capitalize? Well, May looking for Kyle Williams downfield, but intercepted by Julian Love. He runs it back 35 yards before he's pushed out of bounds.
Well, we knew that they couldn't get into this must-throw type situation with the Seattle Seahawks. Too much pressure, too much coverage.
4.5 minutes left. The Pats down 22-7. May looking to throw, but he's hit by Devin Witherspoon. What a play. Uchenna Nwosu catches the ball, takes it all the way to the end zone for a touchdown.
Playmakers making plays, baby. They call this big man balling. Hey. But to Mina's credit, a little man balling helps us out.
He really is little.
Little man helps big man, and the big man balls.
Yes, sir.
The Seahawks win Super Bowl 60, 29-13. Walker, the Super Bowl MVP. And let's hear from Derek Hall after this one. But first, the Seahawks were the 19th team with the best scoring defense during the regular season to reach the Super Bowl. Those teams now 15-4 in the Super Bowl. Wow, the Seahawks avenged their loss to the Patriots in Super Bowl 49 in 2014 as the league's top scoring defense. Derek Hall with Sal Pal as promised.
Coming into this week, Mike and the staff, they kept everything the same, wasn't anything different. We tried to go out and be consistent in our work, consistent in what we do. And we knew when we got here, man, we put in the work, and it was already ordained. We just came out, put our best foot forward, run and hit, be relentless the whole game, and I think that showed tonight.
Turnovers, 6 sacks. At what point did you know in this game that it was yours?
Early in the first quarter. I think just the style of play we put on display early, let us know everything we need to know.
This defense, the first day of OTAs, we broke up and said, hey, if we're not the best defense in the league when this year is over with, this is a failure. And we're here, and I believe we are. No doubt about it.
You guys
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, how about that? Julian Love saying we knew early in the first quarter, we had this thing greased, which it looked like it. It was a great start to finish. There was a play, though, and we just showed it in the highlight. Uchenna Nwosu making something happen, RC. How did that play come together with Witherspoon's help? What did you see?
Yeah, there was so much pressure already this game. We always talked about what Will Campbell had to contend with, but this is going to come from the other side. And who they're working on is actually Ramondre Stevenson. He's going to be the back that is in pass protection, and you're going to have Devin Witherspoon here, and what he's going to do is he's going to go inside Nwosu. He's going to go inside Nwosu here, and Ramondre Stevenson is going to expect to pick him up. But what Mike McDonald does is he also sends Ernest Jones, and so once Ernest Jones is picked up, we'll see Witherspoon go right outside and get to Drake May. So as we started right there, look where Ramondre Stevenson steps up, and because of the way they had it disguised, you'll see to the top what you saw was right there that Nick Eamon-Worry was also presenting into the box. And now you don't send the line of scrimmage that way. You don't send protection to the side of Devin Witherspoon, and he has a clear route to get right to Drake May, make the play, and Nwosu is Johnny on the spot, able to get the football and score. You're going to see so many times in this game, you were expecting the four-man rush. You were thinking to yourself that Nick Eamon-Worry was coming, but the disguise and the execution swag by the Seattle Seahawks was perfect.
Well, the one thing you pointed out, RC, more importantly is you got a second-year quarterback that you are trying to speed up and make him make a decision. Usually those routes are hot, but you get a tail, right? Either hard count. To your point, Josh McDaniels helping Drake May a little bit more. There was a lot of confusion at this line of scrimmage with those pressures. Witherspoon did a phenomenal job of knifing through and getting around, but it looked like Drake May had no answers.
Yeah.
And at some point, you got to get a young fella, look, man, if it's pressure coming off this edge, we either using our legs to go try to create a secondary play, or we got to replace that extra blitzer in some of these situations. So a lot of it, I'm sure, they'll go back as a staff in New England offensively and say, we had some opportunities to make Seattle pay. It's just about making sure you get this young quarterback to slow it down and be able to see where he needs to go with the football.
Seattle only blitzed 7 times. 6 of those times they got pressure.
Yeah.
That's an insane ratio. And anyone who's watching that and thinking, well, it's the young quarterback, and for sure it matters. He was tearing up the blitz during the not just in the regular season. We saw even against the Texans. Yes, the Texans. You remember when he hits Douglas. And the Seahawks, I think, it's not just blitzing, it's how you blitz and when you blitz, and are you breaking tendencies. We talked about Witherspoon coming through the B gap. That's not unusual on its own. You'll see that with defensive backs, but it was unusual for Seattle to do it in this moment. The other thing about the pass rush that just really emphasized to me, whether they were sending pressure or not, and I know this means a lot to you, Marcus, is how disciplined they were about not opening up rush lanes for Drake May. When you saw stunts, guys looping around, always rushing together as a unit to plug those B gaps. So many times we saw him step up in the pocket and escape, but this Seattle defense made sure that did not happen.
He really only had the one run of the game. And you guys, when we talk about just Super Bowl history in general, I thought this was pretty remarkable. Nwosu's pick 6, only the 17th in Super Bowl history. It just doesn't happen that often. And really cool to see it happen to a player in this game. We've still got more coming your way here on Super Bowl Live, and glad you're with us as we recap Super Bowl 60 and look ahead to Super Bowl 61. Coming up, David Tyree made one of the most memorable plays in Super Bowl history, but wait until you hear the story about the other play he made in that game. Super Bowl Live is presented by Intuit TurboTax. Now this is taxes.
You know how you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you.
Sam Darnold and Kenneth Walker III. You and the Seattle Seahawks had just won the Super Bowl. What are you going to do next?
We're going to Disneyland!
First and 10 at the Seattle 44. Here comes the blitz. May hit as he tries to throw. Ball comes out. Going the other way with it. Turning upfield. It's Nwosu. And he scores. Touchdown, Seahawks. The Seahawks defense, they have done it again.
It's been 6 decades that this game has been played, and as you just saw there, Uchenna Nwosu becomes the latest player to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. Now, over the next year, as we lead into ESPN's first ever Super Bowl in 2027, we're going to be telling their stories, the stories of these players that made these moments happen on the biggest stages. These guys had one shining moment when it mattered the most, and we begin with maybe one of the most forgotten touchdowns in Super Bowl history.
My name is David Tyree. I played for the New York Football Giants, and I scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl. I don't know if there's any notoriety to my Super Bowl touchdown because I think I have the greatest catch in Super Bowl history.
Wide open Tyree, who makes the catch.
And the most forgotten touchdown in Super Bowl history.
Super Bowl Sunday. At stake, the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Gentlemen, away we go.
December 16th was the day when my mom passed away. So when I think about the road of emotions leading up to this Super Bowl run, football kind of becomes, the game itself becomes a healing mechanism, the team becomes a healing mechanism. Friday is a dress rehearsal practice in the National Football League. You want it clean, crisp. And it just so happened that I have the absolute worst practice of a wide receiver, maybe in history.
What, I give you a compliment coming out here, now you can't catch a damn thing.
What's a bad NFL practice for a receiver? 1 drop, 2 drops. And it was definitely more than that. It was a horrible practice, but it was a great story because when the lights show up, you got to make the plays. And Fridays, there was no lights on Friday, thank God.
So the Giants are marching, and the Patriots are giving ground.
I had someone tell me the night before the game, you're going to make the big play.
2nd and 3.
So when they call the pop pass, the sell it pass, you're like, this is it. It's on. This is my moment.
Tyree in motion, handoff, the play fake, banding the throw to the end zone, touchdown! David Tyree in the play, and the Giants have the lead with 11:05 to go in the ballgame.
When I crossed the end zone and I scored that touchdown and I lifted up that ball to the heavens, not only was it to God, but it was a dedication to Monty. This is the moment when a little kid from East Orange, Montclair, New Jersey, out of nowhere, scores a go-ahead touchdown against the undefeated Patriot team in the 4th quarter that blows open one of the greatest games ever. I'm the epitome of all things being possible, and that touchdown is one of the greatest moments of my life.
Again, we'll see many more of these stories in this series over the next year. And RC, you were in the Super Bowl. Obviously, you didn't score a touchdown, but you were on the field. Sorry. Otherwise, hey, listen, you would have been in the series about RC. I scored a touchdown.
Because you played defense.
But you had a nice block, maybe a couple blocks. Correct me if I'm wrong. What was it like being on the field for a play like that?
It was so cool. Early on in that week, much like Dave Tyree's story, on Wednesday, we were catching interceptions and we weren't transitioning. We weren't blocking. We weren't running. We was like throwing the ball in the stands. And Coach LeBeau called us in and showed the statistics of what happens when you score a touchdown or what happens when you get a turnover. So everybody on the field, we tried to transition to offense. Debo was running the football. He scored. And after that score, we just felt like, after that score, you felt like this defense that we thought had an opportunity to be legendary had a legendary play.
I always forget that you're actually not big at all.
No, I'm
until
not
we
big.
watch clips of you, and I'm like, oh, you're actually a small man.
Okay.
In NFL context.
Everyone's like, clip that off and see what happens.
When Debo scored, when James Harrison scores, I'm like, hey, man, you all right? I was like, yeah, you heard? He's like, dog, I'm just tired.
People don't realize how much that takes out of players, especially guys that aren't necessarily doing that all the time.
They're not small.
Incredible stuff. And we were not throwing fun. Okay,
True family.
We turn our attention to next year's Super Bowl as we have a little fun here, right? It's never too early. 2024 season officially in the books. Who's going to enter the offseason as the favorite for next season? Seattle, by the way, a co-favorite with their division rival, the Rams, at plus 950. Helps that Stafford announced he's coming back. The Bills have the shortest odds in the AFC at 11-1. That's interesting. The Patriots tied for 4th favorite at 13-1 with Philly and Baltimore. Let's start with you, Marcus. Is there a team that jumps out that maybe gets to the front of the pack for you?
Oh, out of these?
Or, I don't know, pick your own team.
Dallas.
Hey. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't care, y'all.
Be serious. Be serious.
We would like that if the Cowboys
Okay.
were in the Super Bowl.
Mina say, be serious. It's late. Mina is on Demon's High right now.
I mean, what are you talking about?
Mina ain't got no friends.
We don't have roster set. We don't know what free agency is going to be. None of that. I can go Dallas right now.
Tell him, Swag.
It might be the only time I can do
actually
it.
believe that.
Honestly, too, though, I think a team you have to pay attention to if they can be healthy is the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
After what I watched Kyle Shanahan do with such a beat-up roster and a beat-up team, they're just in such a tough division with both the Seahawks and the Rams. And obviously the Seahawks, in my opinion, are the favorite for next year.
Seahawks are the favorites. Seahawks and the Rams are the two best teams in the NFL. I think we saw that tonight. That was, the NFC Championship. I feel like loosely in the football because I know I pick this team every year, but I do think Baltimore should be good.
Agree.
Next year, I like the changes they made. I like the coaching hire as well. And I'm going to throw out a team that wasn't on there. How about the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Yeah. Yes.
Love it.
Kept all of their coaches, really gained momentum. Looked like the best team in the AFC at points this season. I would watch out for them next year.
And I think every time you start having this conversation, too, if the Houston Texans are that good on defense again, this is going to be a difficult team to beat.
Yeah, and I mean, Stroud, I think some of that's going to be fixable. We'll see what they do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The one
Go ahead.
team I will have my eye on a serious note is the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
Because either
They can come back.
they are still a part of this conversation and they rebound from last year, or we may have to start talking. Remember the hype about them 2 years ago?
Yeah.
So.
Well, congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks as they are the winners of Super Bowl 60. And thanks for being with us here, our all-new show, Super Bowl Live. It's back tomorrow. We'll be with you 3 Eastern from Disneyland, followed by NFL Live at 4. The MVP set to join us on set. We'll see you all tomorrow.
The Super Bowl.
It doesn't get any bigger than this.
It's what we live for. A tradition. 60 years young.
You don't know what it feels like.
Remembered for numbers, for yards, for seconds. And way too many players to count.
We've worked harder than anybody to get here. It's our time. All for this moment. It's about honor.
Let's take home what we came for.
Hey, we worked all year for this moment right here. Go out there and enjoy that, man.
Nothing more than your best effort on every play.
Oh, nothing's back. This is it.
And just when we think that we've seen it all, we're reminded.
Way number 1.
That there's a first time for everything.